Welcome back to Girls Unscripted. My name is Carolyn.
And as always, my name is Kate. And look, I'm touching Carolyn.
And I can do this to Kate. Great play.
We are back. Just a little slapstick humor this morning. We are back in the studio after being remote for weeks. And there is just a better feeling about being here. I gotta say.
I just love seeing your beautiful eyes.
Well, you could see those over Zoom as well.
Well, yeah, there's just something about them. Yes, I can see. That's a good point. I don't see your legs normally.
You don't want to know what's going on the bottom half when we're doing this over Zoom. Anyways, we also added some things to our background, which you probably can't really see because they're kind of small, but we have a photo from our DirecTV party, the one where we met Ariana, and our badge from when we went to Comic-Con.
Oh my God, I died when you posted that we photobombed Sheena's post.
Right? Well, Sheena,
I can't believe you noticed that.
She did this because I was looking. Sheena posted this whole post from that party that we were at. It was like 9 photos, and I did think to myself, it'd be kind of funny if we were in one of these. Little did we know, we were.
We were.
Okay, Carolyn, I just need to start off with a little personal gab of the story of you. From Friday. Carolyn and I went out drinking on Friday with some friends, or on Sunday fun day. Of you stealing the food.
I didn't look. Okay.
Because there's 2 sides to the story. There's what happened with you and then what happened with me after. So you go first.
Okay, well, let's start this of like, we all started the day saying we're not going to get out of hand. Just a couple drinks, whatever. Plot twist, we got out of hand.
Flash forward to us playing Flip Cup at the bar.
We played Flip Cup. I forgot about that. We played Flip Cup at the bar.
You were playing Flip Cup with champagne.
And we had peanut butter shots. Yeah. We had...
That's what happens.
Well, yeah, I had champagne and beer and, oh God, and martinis. Oh my God.
The game was on. What
do
you want from us?
It was sport.
Which game? Not sure.
Who cares? It's sports, so drink.
And then whenever someone would cheer for the game, we would pretend like they were cheering for us.
Thank you.
So anyways,
I do love that someone came up and was like, y'all are very fun to watch. I was like, that's the greatest compliment you could give.
But also, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, that's also very, very odd. But okay, so we get slossed. And it's even worse than sauced. And we are at this food court. I don't even know where we were. What? It was some food court.
Well, they might come back and sue you, but it was called Citizen, and it's in Culver City. And it's like a big food hall where there's different food stations. And it's kind of like I always compare it to like Reading Terminal Market in Philadelphia. Like there's just a bunch of different counters with a bunch of different types of food.
Yeah, it reminds me of food hall in Nashville. So there's a bunch of different counters with food, and I walk in and I am hungry, and I see this tray, this sample tray, shut your mouth,
I'm listening,
of baklavas, and they're special walnut baklavas from this, I think it was an Italian place. And I saw them all cut up. They were laid out on a tray. I took one and I even said, I love this for me. And I took it and walked away. Cut to me walking on the other side of it, and this guy behind the counter just looks at me, and you need to watch this so you can see the face, but it was just a face of betrayal and disappointment and bewilderment from him. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Did I steal these? And he just goes, oh, it's fine, take it. And I was like, no, I thought these were samples. I'm so sorry. And while I'm eating, like walnuts are falling out of my mouth while I'm saying this.
You're like taking bites while you're apologizing.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, I will absolutely pay for this. Like, I had no idea. And he was just so distraught and like bewildered was the best word to describe it.
But you offered to pay for it.
I offered to pay for it. And I moved on, and turns out I didn't love that for me because that was an unfortunate experience.
Well, so then she comes up to all of us and she's like, oh my God, I just stole this. She's still eating it. It was a pretty big piece. She was like, oh my God, I just stole this. And we were all like, what? No, that's crazy. That's all we heard was like, I just stole this. I thought it was a free sample. It wasn't. The guy is so mad at me. That's all we heard. So then we like giggled about it, haha, whatever. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get food. So I'm by myself and I'm going to get food and I'm at the counter and I go to order and the guy that I'm ordering from is just upset.
He's still so upset.
But I didn't know it was this same food venue. So this guy's all upset and I look at him and I go, what's wrong? And then he looks at me and he goes, just when you think you've seen it all. And then he takes the tray of baklava and throws it on the counter and he goes, would you believe some girl came up and just took one of these? Dead ass. And as he's bitching to me, I'm pretending like I had no idea. Carolyn starts walking and I'm literally looking at her with like my hand under my neck like, no, don't come over here. I did not want to be associated with her. I didn't want you to say hi to me. I was like, keep fucking walking.
Your face was like, oh my God, I've never seen that face. It was literally like, yeah, don't fucking come near
I was
me.
like, I can't be associated with you. Because
you
meanwhile,
reroute immediately.
Carolyn and I are locking eyes while I'm saying to this guy, that is fucked up, man. I can't believe someone would just do that.
So I like run by the counter so they try not to be seen. But
in your defense, it did look like a tray of free samples.
Thank you.
In your defense, it did.
Thank you. I mean, sure, they were big samples. It was a big ass
and they were like freshly cut.
And they were freshly cut.
The tray was still hot.
The tray was at the ordering thing on just a metal tray with a little sign of what they are.
When he threw it down and was like, some woman stole this, I also did think to myself, well, why would you put it next to, like, on the counter?
The best part is this, I just go, I love this for me. And
well, you know what?
Take the baklava.
It made a good story.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe the time. It was such comedic timing of you walking by while this guy's like, can you fucking believe? I'm like, people these days.
Kate's eyes were like, please reroute to another planet.
But I also was secretly hoping he'd be like, do you just want some?
Yeah.
But he never asked.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say he was going to throw it down and just be like, take it.
He never asked.
Take one.
Oh, it was so funny.
But if you're listening, because I'm sure he's a gabber, I am so sorry. And I appreciate small business. And I love you.
There's going to be a blind item about you on Demois now. Also, Carolyn and I, we've been spending a lot of time together outside of the microphone. We had a drinks. Our producer Rachel set it up with another podcast called The Dating Detectives. Look it up. They're fucking awesome. We met with Molly, who was their producer, and Hannah, who I had known before. There's another co-host called Mackenzie, who wasn't there, but they gave us some really good advice.
First of all, the podcast is genius. It's a PI investigator and a comedian talking about romantic scandals. So she has real cases, and it's just like, it'd be like if we talked about like crazy scandals,
right?
You know, it's like gabbing. They're so fun. Definitely take.
Well, and it was interesting to hear Molly, their producer. I mean, they do this full time, and we were like, so how did this come about? How'd you guys like know each other before the pod? And they were like, oh, we didn't. Molly goes, I had this idea for a podcast, and I knew I wanted a private investigator and a comedian, so I went on TikTok and I just searched for some, that's how she found them. She brought them together.
By the way, she's 26.
Yeah, she's a boss.
So
shout out to them.
Yes.
Might do some collabs in the future. Who's to say?
Hopefully. Oh God, I would love it. I've already started listening to it and now I love it.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Molly told me she started listening to Girls Unscripted.
Oh,
you know?
Yay.
Friends. A lot of Vanderpump Rules news, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you know of any of this.
You need to take me through.
One just broke today.
Okay.
Rachel Goes Rogue is ending.
Oh my God!
I'm so sorry.
Is she unrogue now? Is she coming?
No, she's
conforming?
gone. She's gone so rogue that she quit her own podcast.
Extra rogue.
Like she was like, "How can I go more rogue than I already have? Just leave.
Quit."
Yeah. Just literally quit.
Stand up and leave.
So she came out with this episode and she said she's made the decision to take both feet out of the Vanderpump universe because she wants to focus on herself, her healing, and a new relationship that she's in. I knew there were rumors of her having a relationship.
Ooh.
She said she decided to walk away from continuing the podcast because she would like to move on from having 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the Vanderpump Rules world. My theory is this is all the publicist's fault.
What?
Because her publicist...
Well, the publicist was the podcast person, right? She's the one asking her questions.
It became that.
Yeah.
So the podcast wasn't originally that. Here's what I think from like a business perspective was the plan for Rachel Goes Rogue. I think she was going to start the first couple episodes talking about Vanderpump Rules. And then she started recapping season 11, whatever. But she always wanted there to be this mental health focus. Then she started bringing in these mental health professionals and yada, yada, whatever. And she did start to stray away from doing Vanderpump Rules related episodes.
Right.
But my theory is that those didn't get the viewership and the
Oh,
numbers.
well, of course.
Because no one's listening to
No
them.
offense. If you want mental health help, you're not going to go to Rachel from Vanderpump Rules.
Exactly. So then her publicist steps in and starts doing these episodes where she's essentially interviewing Rachel about headlines that don't fucking apply to her at all. Where like one was like, Rachel, like they were grasping at straws. Like, it says here that Anne's hours has been cut from something about her. What do you think about that? It's like, what the fuck does Rachel have anything to say about that? Like, they were just trying to find any type of Vanderpump Rules shit they could talk about. Then Rachel stopped being on the episodes altogether, and they were just having episodes of her publicist.
Oh.
Where the publicist was doing solo episodes.
So Rachel had already gone extra rogue.
I guess maybe she just couldn't do an episode that week, whatever. It just became very obvious that this is a cash grab that they're trying to make money from.
Well, and it seems like they've lost control of the wheel.
100%. They didn't know what to talk about anymore. The reviews on Apple, if you want a good read today, go on Apple Podcasts. They are vicious.
Are they vicious? Ah,
vicious.
Jinx.
Yeah, you knew.
I knew.
You knew without
I had
me
a
telling
feeling.
you. Yeah, they are pretty bad. I think this is the best thing for her. She needs to just actually move on.
Absolutely.
She could have had this redemption arc had she have just actually stayed away from Vanderpump. Like, put your money where your mouth is. You don't want to be a part of it anymore, then don't fucking be a part of it. And what's sad to me is it feels like, let me see how I can say this. Her publicist manipulated her in the same way that Sandoval manipulated her. Basically got her to do what was best for her. And
she thought that was the best path forward for her, to get her side of the story out so she had complete control of it. I mean, the publicist saw an opportunity for a podcast, and you can spin that in a way that it sounds really good.
And yeah,
if you have been wronged, if you have been like shunned by the entire world, I would imagine you'd want to say something about it from your point of view.
100%. And I agreed with her wanting to have a voice and have a podcast. Like, if all these other people can have a podcast, you can have a podcast. It was just the hypocrisy of like, I'm moving on, I don't want to be a part of this anymore, and then talking about it every single episode.
Well, yeah, and then, once you steer it just talking about opinions of other headlines, it's like what we're doing. Like, why are you doing what? It sounds like it came to a natural close.
Yeah, it's for the best. I didn't listen to the whole episode, but it definitely did. And then in other Vanderpump Rules, did you hear Katie Maloney has a new boyfriend?
No, I saw this on the sheet. What is going on?
Also just revealed yesterday, this is funny. I can't wait to tell you this because you don't know anything about this. Okay, let me set the scene. It's Katie and Dana's podcast. It comes out yesterday, October 16th. Basically, Dana's just like, do you have something you want to tell us? And Katie's like, tee-hee-hee, I don't know. Like, and like, you could tell like she didn't really want to say it. And then finally she just was like, I have a boyfriend. And then that's exactly what everyone else did. They gasped. And then Dana was like, you're glowing. This is so amazing. You seem really happy. And Katie's like, I am. Like, she was very giddy. Yesterday was Tom Schwartz's birthday.
Yes.
So she revealed that she has a boyfriend on Tom Schwartz's birthday, which a lot of people are like, that was just coincidence. And other people are like, that was on purpose.
I bet it's a little bit of both. I mean, it was probably about time for her to say it, and coincidentally, they release episodes on the same day.
Right.
They can't help it. It was Schwartz's birthday.
It's just my favorite bit.
But they're not going to move it because it's Schwartz's birthday.
Right.
They're definitely going to keep it there.
Right. So I guess she's been dating this guy for like a little bit now. He's in the band Sleeping with Sirens.
Is he a musician?
Yep, emo band guy.
Stop.
41 years old. His name's Nick Martin.
I love this for her.
Now, here's the thing, though. When I was because I made a TikTok about this, I always do my research beforehand. So I was researching him a little bit, and I did come across a Reddit thread / Twitter thread, like outing him, saying not like exposing him, saying that he cheated on his wife while he was on tour. Like, I guess this was years ago, but he's a boy in a band.
He's a
Hopefully
musician.
he's changed.
Are they well known? I haven't heard.
I think some of the comments I was getting on TikTok of people being like, oh my God, finally like a Vanderpump Rules emo crossover, yada, yada, whatever. I've never heard of them.
Oh, well, I'm happy for her.
I am too.
As long as she's happy, we're happy.
I don't think she would announce that she officially has a boyfriend if it was, like, she's smart enough to not jump into something like
yeah.
that.
You can even see on the show, she doesn't call anything serious.
No.
She doesn't bring anyone around, really.
No. And she's been like commenting on this guy's Instagrams with like hearts and shit. Like, it seems pretty legit.
Aww,
yeah. So happy
good
for her. Shout out.
Good job, Katie.
A round of applause. I want to say, are you all caught up on Love is Blind? But I think 2 new episodes just dropped like today.
And it was yesterday. Okay. And I meant to text you. I finished it.
You
was
did?
so tired last night, but I had to keep watching. I was like slinking in my bed with my eyes barely open.
It's kind of my favorite way to watch TV.
Because I was like, I have to keep. It was like when I watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I was like, I have to know how this ends. So yeah, I know I'm caught up.
Oh, well, I'm not.
And let me tell you, these 2 episodes, a lot happens.
Okay. Dude, a lot has happened so the first episodes that released was episode like 1 through 9. A lot happened in that 9th episode, and this may be a spoiler if you're not caught up to the 9th episode, but it's like we find out that one guy's cheating on the girl, essentially, with all the kinky text messages, which I'm sorry, but she should have seen that one coming. She definitely ignored some red flags.
She's way too smart for that guy.
Yeah, she's amazing. Then there's this other guy who claims he's a sperm donor, but actually, according to our friend Sydney, that came too quick. According to our friend Sydney Bucksbaum, he actually isn't a sperm donor and has like photos of him with like #1 dad t-shirts on and shit.
I researched this last night also with one eye open. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, what did you find? Because I haven't looked it up yet.
I found that whoever the baby mama is very upset at him and calls him a deadbeat dad and is like, yeah, sperm donor, what the fuck? I mean, I also think she's like mortified by the situation.
Well, because I did start watching episode 10, and he does explain a little further where he was like, he said their same-sex couple was 2 women that wanted to have a baby, so he helped.
And from what I researched, that's absolutely a lie. Like 100% bullshit. Wow. He has 3 kids that I think she might even be like asking for support or something. Like they're not in a good place. I'll put it that way.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I remember now. They're in custody agreement right now. They're going to court.
Okay, so you're not a fucking sperm donor if you're in court over custody.
Yes.
Do people not think that like the internet's gonna find this shit out?
I don't know. I don't know how they let him on, but again, like his Instagram
they wouldn't
had his
think
kids.
to look it up. They would. Why? How would they know?
Well, it's like going back to reality Von Teese. Like, how much should people look into things?
Right. Well,
how would they know to look? I mean, who knows? But if it's Instagram, they saw that.
I still believe
he probably wiped it.
I still believe that producers knew about Monica Von Teese, but that's a different story. Yeah, Love is Blind is good. I don't know what the fuck is in the water in DC, but these people are in trouble.
Okay, have you seen what other couples are in trouble? Like, I don't know where you are.
Ramses and is that his name?
Is that his name? I don't know.
Ramsey? I don't know. The guy with the 2 braids on the side.
Oh.
And
Marissa.
These 2 are just not compatible where I'm at right now. Yeah. They were, and now they're not. I liked him. I don't like him right now.
No.
Okay,
because you've seen the like sex stuff.
A little bit, yes. Where he's like mad at her because she doesn't want to have sex with him every 5 minutes.
Because she's on her period.
Yeah, and it's like vitamin D deficient.
That's right.
And next time I don't want to have sex, I'm going to be like, sorry, vitamin D deficient.
I need to go outside for 5 minutes.
But then they'll be like, I'll give you the vitamin D.
Yeah, I'll give you D with my dick.
Maybe it was vitamin C deficient. But you love to bark in the mic.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I like to bark in general because it's really funny because like, people don't expect girls to bark.
That's so true.
Like it's just a weird thing to do.
That is so true. Next time you guys want to really scare someone, just bark at them.
Just bark at them.
If someone ever catcalls you, bark back.
Be like, hell yeah.
Literally. Yeah, that's my man right there. Woo, woo, woo. I love that. That's genius.
Fire with fire, baby.
That is genius. Who else is in trouble? Nick and Hannah seem like they're doing better. Alex and Tim seem like they're doing better. I'm only maybe 10 minutes into episode 10 though.
Yeah, a lot happens.
Okay, I'm excited.
For better or for worse, I'll just say that.
Another new show that's on that I've only watched the first 2 episodes and I don't have much to say, but I just have to tell you something hilarious is House of Villains. It's on It's hard to find online. That is true.
I'm so jealous.
I don't think I ended up I think season 1, I didn't watch it while it was airing. I watched it after it was finished airing and it was on Peacock.
What's their business strategy with that? Like, why are they withholding the episodes
I don't
while
know.
they're airing?
A lot of maybe E is under Viacom. this is just a theory.
He is under Viacom.
Because MTV does the same thing. Like they don't,
Yeah.
like Jersey Shore Family Vacation, you can't watch like the recent seasons until like really long after.
Oh, that's
they
so
air,
weird.
yeah.
It's so annoying. I guess they must think somehow it'll be a net positive thing. More people will watch it.
Doesn't the challenge? Oh,
No,
wait.
the challenge we have to buy.
It's the same,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it must be a Viacom thing. I don't know. But I have Sling TV, so I've been watching it on Sling TV. And all I want to say is it has to do with the challenge. Wes from the challenge is on House of Villains.
Kyle is going to freak out.
He is cracking me the fuck up. It's so interesting seeing him in a non-challenge environment.
Yes.
And the funniest thing, and this is just so Wes. So Wes comes in the house and he's like, I'm going to be a fly on the wall. I want to be super under the radar. Like he was like, I want to lay low. I want to play a quiet game. And I'm not even kidding you, Carolyn. That was in the first 5 minutes of the episode. And then like 20 minutes in, Wes is like, I'm starting a cult. And he is rallying all these people behind him. In the first fucking episode, he's decided to go against another like big figure in the house. And it's like a game of like
He just can't help himself.
he has literally created a cult. They were between two girls of like, there were two girls that were, you actually know who both the girls are, and I kind of want to tell you who they are, but it won't spill it. It won't spill anything.
I don't care.
So there were two girls that people were considering voting out.
Okay.
It was Victoria from, I think, Matt's season of The Bachelor that calls herself like Queen Victoria or whatever.
She is a villain.
And then Larissa from 90 Day Fiance.
Oh God.
First of all,
how big of her tits?
I was just about to say.
Does she look human anymore?
I don't know how she doesn't topple over.
Yeah, it's scary.
It is a bit throughout the whole show too.
Okay.
They make fun
I'm
of her.
sure.
It is so
They
funny.
did that with Anfisa too.
I actually loved Anfisa. Did you watch House of Villains season 1?
Yeah.
I actually loved her on House of Villains.
Yeah,
season
she was.
1.
Yeah, loved her.
So basically, Wes was Team Victoria. And Richard Hatch from Survivor was Team Larissa. So they're both trying to get people to vote out the other girl.
Right.
And it was just really like applaud worthy how Wes was able to turn a house.
Wes is on my top 3 favorite reality people to watch.
Yeah.
He is so entertaining. He cannot help himself.
Yeah.
He's just so schemy. And he's also a smart guy. Like,
oh my God.
So it's just fun. He and the magical duo is watching him and Johnny together.
I know.
It's just like, I have goosebumps. That's how much I like it.
There was an episode of Johnny Bananas' podcast, Death, Taxes, and Bananas, which I'd never listened to before, but I just started. And he did a 2-part episode with Wes. Highly recommend.
Oh,
the
I
first
gotta
part
listen
is
to it.
talking about all stuff the challenge. It was a really good episode. And it was just funny. Like I was laughing
they're
out
so
loud.
funny.
And then the second one is a little bit about the challenge, mostly about House of Villains. But yeah, it was great. I'm really enjoying them. Wes, I could never date someone like him. I think about
God,
that sometimes.
no.
I'm like, if I were your wife, I would always think you're like lying and manipulating
is he
me.
married to
with
Johanna?
Carolyn.
I can't remember his romantic arc. What happened?
Carolyn.
They broke up.
That is so 2008.
What? You're right.
Okay, if you want me to get technical.
But did they marry?
No, but I think they got engaged
They were
maybe.
engaged.
Or they were going to, because after he won one of his challenges, he was like, I'm going to propose to Johanna. But I don't think he ever did.
Okay.
But
I
then
remember marriage was in the talks.
the tea was they break up. The next season that she goes back on the challenge that Wes isn't on, she hooks up with Kenny. It was on
That's
the island.
okay.
Wes was mad. That's
yeah.
what made them rivals. Tea, baby. The challenge is full of tea.
I got to go back and rewatch from the beginning.
It's
time. It's time.
It's the best. Okay, and then I have a really like little itty bitty thing that I have to tell you, but I don't know how much I'm allowed to tell you.
Okay.
It's something that happened to me.
Okay.
But there's a possibility.
Secret Service,
This
come
is-
to your door.
This is a secret for you and the Gabbers only. And it's not definite, but there is a possibility that I, aka one of my TikToks, will be featured in season 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh my
Like I was speaking to a producer on the phone about it.
God. Are they going to do it in the actual show, or is it like a reacting to fans like spinoff?
I think it is in the actual show. It has to do with a storyline that they're dealing with.
Did you break any news that other people hadn't
I don't think I broke the news, but I think I had a really popular video about this news.
Okay.
So much so that one of the girls on the show sent it to the producer and was like, I just saw this video. And I don't know if they'll be watching it in the show. I don't know if they'll just show the video on the show. They might not ever even use it. This might be a pipe dream, but if they do, you guys heard it here first.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
I had that happen to me with Reality Meme Queen.
Ooh.
During COVID.
For those of you who don't know, that was Carolyn's Instagram
That was
account.
and I might try and change it back. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. But lots of reality memes, and TLC like had a whole show spinoff dedicated to them watching videos and responding to them. And they took like 24 of my memes or something.
Wow.
But I didn't even ask for money. I was just like, take them. I don't know. They're memes.
Yeah, I probably could. Again,
yours is like you put more effort.
I mean, it is like my face and livelihood, but I did do something for an unscripted project one time where I was on camera and speaking, and it was like my name and everything, like, and they only paid me like $125.
Yeah.
So I do think in the unscripted world, stuff like that is pretty
like peanuts.
Yeah, you're not getting paid that much.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew like I'm not even gonna ask.
Yeah.
It's honestly an honor to just be nominated.
Yeah. Unscripted is a brutal world with budgets and stuff. I talking to Peter last time about him getting cut out of the budget for season 11.
As we said, so fucked up.
So fucked up.
All right, let's get into our Real Housewives Roundup. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Start me off, because you're the OC girl, with this insane fucking news.
Tamra. To be fair, what she did is someone who is on the spectrum would do.
Okay, you know what, Carolyn? Fair point there.
You know what? Like taking one therapy session. First of all, okay, there's so much to say here. She's never been to therapy. What?
Well, okay, for those of you that don't know, Tamra revealed on her podcast that she just said, I'm on the spectrum, I have autism. And like, here's a perfect example of the page 6 headline. Tamra Judge discovered she's on the autism spectrum during first therapy session. I don't know if it was her first session ever, or if it was her first session with a specific therapist, but imagine going to, that's like a man going to therapy one time being like, I'm healed. Because men do that shit.
Well,
yeah, I've been to therapy. You've been to 55 minutes of therapy, sir.
I listened to her say it on the podcast, and the way she says it makes it sound like she's never been, but that might not be true.
Okay, yeah, no, I see. I didn't know that.
Which is just bananas. You know, it's a sensitive topic, obviously. She got a lot of backlash. I mean, for good reason. People in the autism community didn't like that she was associating her wretched behavior on being on the spectrum. She's just a shitty person.
Well, and that's really what it is, isn't it? It's like she is currently facing a lot of backlash.
And she's done this before.
Right.
She's doing a course correction because she did this in the past. She had a really bad run and people hated her. So she came on the next season as this like born again Christian.
That's right.
And then she was off the show. She came back on the show, guns a-blazing. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Guns a-blazing. And the public is like, what the fuck, Tamra? Like, don't calm down.
Wow.
And I think this is another like PR management issue. In my personal opinion, I think if she heard that, she would cry and say, that's so rude of me to say. But being on the spectrum, I don't think, I'm not a therapist. I don't think you can diagnose in one session in like 50 minutes because she has problems with empathy with people and feeling with people, which, hey, that's more of a like sociopathic problem.
Right.
That's not really autism.
Well, yeah, she does say here, you're exactly right. She also says, I just thought that things were black and white to me. I grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of empathy or love.
And can therapists diagnose you, or does it have to be a psychiatrist?
I would assume it's more than just a one singular therapy session. Yes.
Well, because I mean, to be fair, when I was younger, a deep look into my life, since I'm just open about all my mental illnesses, when I was younger, they took me in and the doctor knew within like 5 minutes that I had OCD.
Wow.
Because he was like, there's no way she has it. She's probably just anxious. And then he saw my mom and she was like, oh my God, she really does.
Wow.
I don't know. I think autistic is a different breed. They all have their own, little things to them. But who knows? But I do think Tamra is doing spectrum behavior by going on our podcast and exposing this to the entire world.
Here's what I think happened. I think she went in to this therapist. So she did issue an apology. And she does say, it does seem like this is her first therapy session, but it's a little confusing. She says, I started therapy because this year had been really hard on me. I started feeling insecure, didn't want to leave my house, almost went into a mental health facility, blah, blah, whatever. But here's where I get confused. She says, in my conversations with my therapist, who I've known for years, we talked about a lot over the course of 2 hours. She told me many things about me, like how I process information, my sensory issues, my social anxiety, my aversion to eye contact with new people, my not wanting to be out of my routine, etc., were all signs of being on the spectrum. So I think that's what her therapist said to her. And Tamra took that as, I have autism.
Yeah. And
you
she
can be
that out
the spectrum. It's a literal spectrum for a reason.
Yeah.
So, and then she continues by saying she acknowledges it on the spectrum as a broad term. I don't really understand it fully in my
That would be like if we were friends and you were a therapist. I'm assuming this is what happened. Like they've been friends for a long time. And then finally you were like, Carolyn, like, let's have a real session.
Right.
You'd be like, and then just unload all the
But aren't friends not supposed to also be your therapist?
Already. Yeah, but it's a conflict of interest. So it doesn't make, none of it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I do think she's under duress. She does seem very upset. Not that she deserves it, but I mean, this happens. She has cycles of this.
She also admits that she recorded that podcast episode where she revealed it 15 minutes after the therapy session.
Which we were just talking about before this
Just
podcast,
talking about this.
About like after therapy, you need a timeout.
I'm done for the day.
Yeah, it is hard to go do other things.
Yeah.
Like you need to go under a blanket and eat some ice cream.
So she said, when I sat down at the mic to record my podcast 15 minutes later and my head was spinning from what she had said, I had no time to process things or even talk to my family. I was just back at work. I was so emotional and I just blurted it out.
Then they should have, but here's the thing. There's lots of things we've blurted out in the podcast. We can edit it out.
She
There's
also
a whole
says
process.
Tamra felt the urge to remove her reveal, but she's so used to being open with everything in her life, she thought against it.
Bad judgment call.
She's now not sure it was the right call. Yeah, I don't know. It's
bad judgment call. I also don't think it's fair if everyone's saying, well, she's devalidating that she might be on the spectrum. She might be on the spectrum. It's just the way that she went about receiving information and giving it to the world that wasn't in a sensitive way.
And bad timing.
And yeah, poor judgment call.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, crazy. Tamra Judge will always give, like we always say, like Sheena will always give us something to talk about. I feel like I don't even watch Real Housewives of Orange County and I could talk about Tamra forever. She was good on The Traitors last season though.
She was good. Yeah.
Fun to watch. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into Real Housewives of New York. I don't really have too many things to say about either of these episodes of New York or Salt Lake. Mm-hmm. They were both pretty standard Housewives episodes.
Let's see. We start up top. Sai and Raquel have beef about driving in the car in the front seat. I wrote under this, respectfully, I do not care. This was just a miscommunication.
It was stupid. The amount of times that I just chose to drive by myself because I didn't want to fucking drive with someone else. It's like, it's not that big of a deal.
Like, it was fine. And it got resolved, so it was all good.
Okay. It isn't a big deal, but I kind of understand Raquel when she was like, hey, I get really car sick if I'm not in the front seat, blah, blah, blah. And instead of Sai being like, oh, well, you can sit in the front, she just goes, can't you take Dramamine? She
thought she meant driving her own car.
It was confusing. And you know what? You're right, Carolyn. It's not even worth talking about. Moving on.
It's about who sat where. Then we move on to Sai and Brynn trying to bridge their gap.
Who is mad at Brynn? Who is Brynn mad at? I am so confused. I feel like every episode is a different confrontation between someone and Brynn, and I don't understand where all of this is stemming from.
I literally wrote underneath this, I can't even remember why they're fighting. I have no idea why they're fighting.
And it's so hard for me to be that's why it's hard for me to get invested in these Real Housewives storylines because they change so quickly. And this was the perfect example. It was this big fight between Brynn and Sai, and then 5 seconds later, they're like hugging and dancing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But it seemed like an end of the world type of thing to Sai.
And then 5 seconds later, Uba gets in the middle of it and then brings it all up again. And it is Uba versus everyone in the house. I mean, I think I don't know what's going on in Uba's head, but we have seen a drastic change in her from season 1 to season 2.
In a good way or bad way?
She does seem more withdrawn. She doesn't seem happy.
Well, she said that in the episode too. She was like, I can't trust you guys. Like, I think that she was burned. I think Uba lives a very private life, and she got really burned when it was revealed that she was dating this guy, that she had very clearly set boundaries she didn't want to be revealed on the show. Yeah. So now Uba's like, well, then I'm not going to fucking tell you guys anything.
Yeah.
But as we know, that doesn't work as a housewife. Like, you can't really have secrets and be a housewife. Yeah, sorry. But Uba does have a temper, so she'll be around for a while.
She'll be around for a while. But also, I'm like, what's your end game here, Uba? I mean, she not only struck up like controversy the night before, but then she comes into breakfast, I'm going to use it again, guns a-blazing about these pigeons.
She loved that. The drinking game should have been drink every time she says pigeon.
The pigeon.
And then drink again every time someone says, what?
That's the thing with Uba, is like she says things that I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, oh, that's actually a really cool way to say it.
Yeah. You know? No,
like,
she's cool.
I'm like, no, pigeon Carrie, that's actually really smart, because people are just taking random lines and taking it to everyone else, and everyone's getting upset about it.
Yeah.
So I see where she's upset.
She's logically upset, but it's illogical for that to not happen on a show like The Real Housewives. Like, that is literally what the show was built on. So
yeah, they can't shut down the pigeon business.
I did have some laugh out loud moments this episode.
Okay, tell me.
One of which being our girl Becky Minkoff, saying that she sneezed and a Diva cup flew out of her. Like, that is hilarious. I think she is a sleeper. This is why I kind of take back my comparison of Kourtney Kardashian, but I kind of don't. I feel like she's really quiet, and then she has some sleeper hits.
Yeah.
And that made me laugh.
That was funny. Also, not surprising. I've never used a Diva cup, but I would imagine
she probably didn't have it up there far enough.
Yeah. Well,
or it was full.
Her. We'll text her.
It was full.
Oh God. Oh, God.
I mean, she said it looked like a murder scene.
Becky, no.
Becky girl.
Oh, sweet Becky.
Oh my God, now we're gonna get like, you know how housewives, they'll like say one funny thing and then they create a line, like the bath bombs with Meredith Mars.
Yeah.
Mark my words, Becky Minkoff Diva cups coming soon.
To a Target near you.
To a Nordstrom
if
rack.
you're lucky enough.
And then do you remember last season, Jessel like freaking out over the lingerie she was given?
Yes.
I did think it was funny that they made a bit about that.
Yeah, and I like that Jessel can laugh at herself.
Yeah. But also, am I just like missing something? Do friends buy friends lingerie? Like why have you not bought me sexy underwear yet?
No, I think it...
Like, are we not friends?
Well, one, because we haven't had a bachelorette party for you.
Fair. But they just do this on a normal ass weekend.
Two, I think it's like, isn't it? I assumed it was part of her line. Like, she had some involvement. It's her clothes.
Whose?
Jenna's.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know. Maybe
like,
you're right.
I thought she was like promoting stuff that she was involved with.
You could be right there. You could be right.
Because otherwise, yes, I would find it very bizarre that she's just like, oh, these fancy underwear.
Right.
But I would still take it.
Yeah.
Fancy underwear is great.
I do feel like these are a group of women that do like each other.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like, there were some moments that I was like, they are friendly.
Yeah.
Maybe some don't like each other, but like even them like getting ready to go out to dinner and hyping each other up when they walk down the stairs.
I wrote this on there. I was like, this just makes me miss like living with your girlfriends.
Carolyn, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, actually.
Those
living
nights.
with it's so fun. Getting ready together, going out. I know.
Coming home together with all the stories of like what happened to everybody.
I agree.
Waking up in the oh God, it's just so fun.
Yeah, and they all like, well, it's just we need to do more Airbnb trips. Really,
yeah,
is what it is.
True.
I do think it's crazy that they get so done up for a 90-minute dinner.
Yeah.
They didn't even go out afterwards.
No, and it's not, they're at some restaurant. And what part of the Hamptons were they?
Sag Harbor?
Sag Harbor.
Yeah.
Like, you're fine. No need.
But I think it's fancy up there.
It is fancy pants. But I mean, Jessel was naked.
I think, well, she had issues with her body last season.
Yeah,
she just had babies.
Twins.
So I think now she's like, look at me now.
Look at what I got.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah, don't underestimate this.
Who was Brynn talking about at the end of the episode where she was like, be a better fighter. Use smarter words. Don't just yell fuck you. Don't call people names. Like, who was she talking about? Do you remember?
Uba.
She was talking about Uba.
She was talking about Uba because out of nowhere, Uba was really mean to Bryn.
Okay.
At least that's what I put in the notes. I mean, she did go from like, A, she just sat down as a third time's a charm, guns a-blazing, like, you're all pigeons, we're all messed up, this is so fucked up. And then she turns her direction to Bryn and really goes like, you did this, you're a blank, and starts calling her names.
Okay, yeah, because I remember that there was that scene, which I did think was funny, where Bryn was like on this rant of like, I grew up learning to never call people names. Just be a smarter fighter. Use better words. But then earlier in the episode, was she not in the kitchen fighting with Uba going, na, 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 na. Like, what the
Well, she was
fuck
impersonating
was
Uba, which I was
she
like.
She was?
That's how I took it.
I thought she was just being a child.
No, she was impersonating Uba getting upset. Of just sounding like a da 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 da, which I was like, shit, Bryn, that's low. I mean,
damn, I did not catch on to that. Good call.
That's what I thought.
No, I think you're probably right. You're probably
da
right.
Da 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 da.
Right. Oh, it was annoying. I was watching it and I had to turn down the TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she didn't stop.
She did not stop. Oh, God. Yeah. So much fighting. It's really confusing.
Yeah, but I still enjoyed the episode. I like it when they go to Aaron's little Hamptons house. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, one thing this episode is that, and I feel like it's kind of a recurring thing, Jenna forgets shit. Like
and she was adamant about not saying that one thing.
Yes. And I feel like she's done something like that before where she's just like, nope, didn't do it. And it's not even like misconstrued. She straight up said it, and I guess she just forgets it. But she's a smart woman.
I fear that Jenna says that because she wants to be liked, and she likes to be known as one that stays out of the drama. But she definitely can play into the drama a little bit.
Yeah,
and she did blatantly say those things that they accused her of saying. That was a bit of tea.
Oh, this has nothing to do with anything. I'm not going to say it. I don't even know why I wrote this.
You need to say it now.
I wrote this random. I need Brad Pitt to stay in the game a bit more. Because we're getting to a place where the youth have no idea who he is, and that makes me feel old.
Wait, why did you say that?
Literally no idea.
You just... Did you just write... Like, you probably were like, I just need to write this thought down. This could be a comedy bit. And it's meshed in with your Real Housewives notes.
No, yeah, that's just a note.
But you know what?
Me.
You're not wrong.
He's too out of it. I need him to stay in a bit more for us, for me, for a little bit longer. I need people to know.
Brad Pitt girl?
Yeah.
Handsome.
He's a handsome guy. Yeah. He's talented.
Man, we don't see him that much these days. He's been in a couple movies, but I feel like they haven't been that big.
Yeah.
We need him.
Movie stars are changing in America.
I agree.
I think Tom Cruise, this is a hot take. I think Tom Cruise is our last true movie star. Hot take. It's a hot take. Hot take.
What about like a Miles Teller or Glenn Powell? I feel like Glenn Powell's becoming a movie star.
I mean, they're talented, but they're not going to be remembered in 50 years.
Well, maybe. You're right. Here's the issue I feel. Back in the day, 90s, 2000s, whatever, TV wasn't as, what's the word? Like...
prestigious.
That's exactly the word I was trying to think of.
I said it weird.
I was thinking of prominent, but it wasn't as prestigious as it is now. So you wanted to be a movie star first, TV star second. But nowadays, people are in movies and TV shows. Yeah. You're not just in one thing. And they're also doing a lot of different things. They're hosting, they're on social media. We haven't had just someone who's like only in movies.
Right, because that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, but I think Glenn Powell could be that.
I'm talking star, like if there was a podcast about the 2000s or the 90s, who was it? You'll remember Taylor Swift, Kobe Bryant, and to me, Tom Cruise. They used him at the Olympics.
Those are the three most random. I agree with you, but those were not the three names I thought you were going to put together.
I don't know how we got here. I'm so sorry.
That's amazing.
We can get back.
No, I liked that. That was a fun side rant. Let's ruminate on that because there is something here.
I wrote at least a cameo in a Marvel film, And then I wrote, has he done that?
Yes, he has.
Okay, good.
But it's not technically Marvel. I think it was DC. He was in Deadpool too.
Okay.
For 2 seconds.
Well, cameos.
So.
I literally wrote
He was in Deadpool too. So your wish is his command.
Brad, if you're listening.
But obviously that wasn't enough. Because you don't even know that.
And I want him to be with Tom. I really do. I want them on the same shelf.
I think Brad Pitt is they're different because Brad Pitt is like a hot movie star and Tom Cruise is like action movie star.
Yeah. It's about who's going to be remembered. Because we're all going to die and no one's going to remember.
Well, there's a bunch of Tom Cruise deep fakes like all over the place. So
that
Tom Cruise will be
true.
around forever.
That is true. He will.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. He'll be forever.
All right. Let's talk about Real Housewives of
Salt Lake City. She has a flight to catch.
No. I do have a flight to catch today, but I have time. I just want to start off by saying, and this might be a hot take, but I don't think it is. Bronwyn is my MVP. I think we had a great episode from Bronwyn. I really enjoyed listening to her story. I didn't enjoy it because it was like a fucked up, really tough, hard story. But I feel like we got a lot of depth from her. I really enjoyed her conversation later on with her daughter. Mm-hmm. I thought she was empathetic. She listened. I thought this was a great Bronwyn episode.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree. All of it made me like her a lot more because you do see so much depth that you didn't know was there. We knew she got pregnant young and was kicked out of BYU. And that in of itself, you got to assume some trauma comes with it. But man, she went through a lot more than I realized or would have thought. She really raised this kid on her own.
Yeah.
And
with zero support.
And
not only zero support, people try to convince her to get rid of it.
Yeah. Good for her for having Glenn. If that's what she wanted to do, is have the baby.
Yeah.
But I think it takes a really strong woman to do that.
She said something, I wish I wrote it down because it was so amazing. She said, it's really hard. It was something like it was hard for me to wrap my head around. The best decision of my life, some people think is the worst decision of my life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage and strength to be able to do what she did. And Gwen looks like a great kid.
Yeah.
It looks like she did a great job.
Wise beyond her years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That conversation they had together was so mature.
Yeah.
I loved how Bronwyn just sat there. She listened. She let her talk. She respected her feelings. She empathized. She sympathized. It was everything. As a daughter, that is the type of conversation I would want to have if I was put in that situation. Mm-hmm. And two, for Gwen's point of view, she was also just so mature about this and really clear-headed and was like, I don't want to meet them if they don't want to meet me.
And I'm not excited in a good way, but I'm curious how this is going to play out. Does she meet the parents? I want her to see, is she going to meet the grandparents? I want to see this.
There's a piece of me, and this is me because I'm skeptical and I'm of everyone, that thinks that it's weird that these grandparents now all of a sudden 18 years later want to meet her when one, she's on a TV show, and two, Lisa Barlow is like, you guys should meet.
It's Lisa Barlow being the bridge to all of this. It's the funniest thing.
But that is kind of crazy though, how Bronwyn's like, I never really showed the photo of him.
Yeah.
And then she just so happened to be like, oh, you think I look like Gwen? Wait till you see her dad. Not only does Lisa know this guy,
they talk regularly.
She knows them well.
Yeah.
She was at the funeral or hung out with them after he had passed or something like that. She knows them well and she really likes them. Yeah. And that is an interesting, position for Lisa to be in, now knowing both sides, where she knows Bronwyn, who is kind of fuck these people.
Yeah.
But then she also knows them and she knows them as good people.
Yeah.
It must be hard to know someone for 20 plus years and she didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
And to know that they were actually did some pretty messed up things.
Which is actually okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's weird Lisa never made that connection. If she's that close with these people, they would know. And she went to the funeral.
But she didn't
know that that was the baby daddy? Did they keep that all a secret?
Yeah, still? They did not. The second that Bronwyn became pregnant, they were out. They wanted nothing to do with it. They pretended like it never happened. She said they wanted me to, quote, study abroad and come back 9 months later.
Yeah.
They literally kicked her to the curb. I guarantee you they've never spoken about it. They were ashamed by it.
Yeah.
So of course Lisa would never know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's fucked
but
up.
That's just crazy. That's crazy to me.
So it's crazy and it's sad and it's fucked
She
up.
wouldn't even know that the guy had a baby with one of her good friends. Like, that's crazy.
She could never know.
Yeah.
If she would have never have showed her that photo, she would have never have known, because it does seem like Bronwyn says we don't really talk about him. We don't show photos of him.
Yeah.
And since he has been dead for the past 16 years, I'm sure he doesn't really get brought up in conversation, which, by the way, that's another insane thing to learn, that your child's father died via like a Facebook post.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give she's my
Yeah.
MVP right now. She's my MVP right now.
Yeah. At first I was like, do I like what she's saying here? When she was like, I thought I could be enough for you. I was like, is this selfish?
I flagged that as well, too.
I flagged it, but then I thought about it and I was like, the point is she said that and she said that was unfair because you're still going to have a hole because he was your dad and I can't fill that. And that's what she's trying to rectify now. So I don't know. I was proud of Bronwyn being open to it and almost even encouraging it if Gwen is open to it, but they were assholes to Gwen.
Yeah.
Now, if I were Gwen, I don't know if I'd want to see them either.
Yeah, them saying, we only want to meet you if you're truly ready. It's like, I have
Go
literally
fuck
been,
yourself.
if I'm truly ready,
Yeah,
I've been waiting for you guys.
That's so offensive.
Dude, yeah. I hope we
Dude.
don't. If we do see a meeting of them on TV, I'm telling you right now, they will get ripped apart.
Yeah.
No one's going to like them.
Yeah.
The viewers are not going to, it's not going to be a good moment.
It's not going to be good for them.
It's already a bad setup. I do hope for Gwen's sake, though, she gets the closure she needs, whether that is meeting them or not meeting them.
Yeah, this episode really pulled at my heartstrings. You could feel the emotion in their conversation and how difficult of a conversation that was.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out.
It's a tough call.
Yeah.
I've said Bronwyn is my MVP. I do have an LVP.
Let me guess. Brittany?
Yes.
How did I know? You haven't liked Brittany from the beginning. To be fair, I don't think anyone has really liked Brittany from the beginning.
I'm sorry. I can't with this woman.
She is acting as if like she is 18 years old in her first relationship. It is crazy to me that she is of her age, has a family, and is acting as whipped as she is by this dude. To be fair, I always think there's going to be a dude that comes along in your life that just fucks you up.
Yeah, but normally it's when you're like 20 years
and
old.
you learn the lesson so you can like meet the other dude that doesn't fuck you
Right.
up. But maybe she just had it backwards in this instance because clearly she has not been taught how to girl code this situation.
Yeah. Also, this is going to be a little mean, but we finally met Jared Osmond. And I literally am like, him? This is the guy you're like ruining your life over? Like, he's not ugly, but he didn't even seem like charming. And I'm like, I just didn't like it. I was like, I got a shiver up my spine. Here's my thing about Brittany. I think Brittany is the type of person that can be easily influenced by whoever is right in front of her. So, for example, when they were in Milwaukee and Lisa's like, give me your phone. I'm going to text him off your phone. Brittany was fucking cheering her on, like, yeah, oh my God, that's so funny. Do that. Like, fuck him. He sucks. You're right. She was not only into it, she allowed it. She gave Lisa permission and she was like a part of the joke.
Yeah.
Because Lisa was right in front of her telling her, we should do this.
Which, by the way, like, Lisa, I think she's a good friend in that situation.
I thought Lisa was being a good friend because anyone with eyes knows this guy sucks.
It is extreme. If my friend did that, I would be like, oh God. But I would still be like, they're doing that for me because they're trying to get me to see that I don't need this guy. Like, stop fucking with this guy.
Yeah, here's the thing. As someone who has had friends who have been in a lot of questionable relationships, I have gotten heavily involved and it has backfired every single time.
Yeah.
You are never going to
yeah.
change your friends' minds, ever. You are never going to. If anything, you are going to lose friends over trying to do that. Mm-hmm. And that is what's seeming like is going to happen next episode or it happened a little bit this episode where she confronts Lisa about it. Although I also see Lisa's point of like, but you were laughing and like down for it, which is why I'm saying I feel like she is so easily influenced by whoever's in front of her because she goes to meet up with Jared and she's like, has this mindset that they're done. And he says 2 sentences and she's like, you're right. I'm sorry. And now she's like, you know what? She went from fuck Jared when she's in front of Lisa to fuck Lisa when she's in front of Jared. What's going to happen next?
It's like we all have that friend where you have to have a breakup with their breakup because they get back together with their guy so many times and and you're just like, you know what I think by this point, you know, I can't do anything for you.
Yes.
Don't be with him. He's cheated on you 5 times.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yes.
Leave.
Carolyn, I couldn't have said it better myself.
We've all had it.
We've all been there. We've all seen people who've been there.
I was going to say, and I've had people break up with my breakups. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
We all go through this. But not at her age and like life experience.
Well, that's why I think there's a deeper story to her daughter's not speaking to her. I think
that's true.
I think we need more.
I forgot about that.
We need more
detail.
We need more backstory to Brittany.
Yeah.
I only had notes about Brittany and Bronwyn this episode.
I had some notes on Mary Cosby.
Go on. Share with the class.
Every episode, I'm more and more in shock that Mary is like contributing her opinions to things. Also, the scene with her son. Was it concerning to you? For some reason, it was giving me red flags all over the place. Like, does he just live at home? Does he ask for money a lot?
Here's what I think. I think Mary was trying to say this without saying this. I think he smokes weed in his room all day. Because she was saying, like, what's the money going to be used for? And she's saying, like, he's making some questionable life decisions. The way he acts, I think he's just like a stoner.
Yeah.
It is crazy that he only comes out of his room to ask her for money.
Yeah.
And is he married?
Is he married?
Where's the wife?
Is he in school?
Is he okay?
Is he okay? It's the biggest question of all. It just it was a very short scene, but it gave me a lot of red flags of just like, what's happening in this house? And that relates to like the other situation in this episode where Angie says Lisa's a bad mom or Lisa says Angie's a bad mom. I don't know. I couldn't really keep up with it. I didn't really listen.
They are kind of coming after
digging at being moms, I think, is like the ultimate lowest blow. As me thinking about like wanting to maybe become a mom, I can only imagine how much I'm gonna fuck up.
Right.
And for people to like throw that in your face, they're all doing the best they fucking can.
Right. It does suck for both of them to have to defend on camera that they are a good mom. They shouldn't even be put in that situation.
But
it was some sneaky editing though, where last episode we did hear Angie say something about Lisa's son, how he's like in the room gaming all day. And then the first shot we see like of Lisa is her like in her son's room, like, do you want dinner? Do you want food? And he's just like clicking away at his game, not even staring at her. I'm like, this was a bit pointed.
2 other things that I noted in this episode. One, we just have to note the mud on Heather's face during the zip line.
Oh, I didn't even know. I wasn't really paying attention. You talk to me.
Kate. You didn't notice?
No.
First of all, they go up that road on their little 4-wheeler and they get mud everywhere.
Oh my God, I just realized I didn't finish the episode.
That makes a lot of sense because there's no way you would have missed this.
Oh my God. That's why I was like, why do I only have notes about Bronwyn and Brittany? In my mind, I finished the episode. Well, tell me about the mud then.
So mud goes everywhere. Mary Cosby's on this. Apparently, we learned Mary Cosby loves zip lines. She has an affinity for zip lines in particular.
Is she okay? Is she smoking what Robert Jr. smoking? Because she is a different person.
That's what I'm saying. I am just floored every episode. I feel like I learned so much more about her. But then mud literally gets flung on Heather's face and lips. And they try to like get it off of her. But for whatever reason, the rest of the episode, she has mud on her lips. And no one else has any mud on them. Just Heather on her face. I'm like, guys, wipe that off.
You're literally staring at her through a camera.
It's like when, you remember in Love is Blind, they kissed and she had red lipstick and like, oh, that was Love is Blind UK. And it's like all you can notice. You can't really think about what they're talking about because you're just looking at the mud on their face. Like, what's going on?
Right.
So that was something to note. And then the prism drama, I was kind of laughing at.
We're still dealing with the Alibaba of it all.
We're still dealing with the Alibaba.
And they realized that it was Lisa Barlow that spilled the tea.
Because I think Lisa threw away the necklace.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
She threw away the necklace that Whitney gifted her in the hotel room that Whitney set up for her. And she also was the one that is spreading the rumors that her shit is on Alibaba. I was pretty team Lisa Barlow, but that's a bit much.
Well, also, who do you think it was? Mary Cosby doing that shit? Like, of course it was Lisa.
Could be Meredith.
That's true. Oh, and whoever she had as her friend is like the PI investigator. Like,
and you could tell
you can say yes or no questions.
This was his fucking time to shine.
He
was like, babe, quiet. I'm on TV. Okay. So first I asked, do they have a vodka brand?
No. Yes.
Yeah, he practiced that shit in the mirror.
He did it really, really well. I think it's crazy how much Whitney thinks people are thinking about this. Like, the way that she's upset about this is like as if Lisa is up at night losing sleep because Whitney sells from Alibaba. No one cares. Meredith cares because she didn't come to her for advice. But no one's thinking about Prism at all. Like, it is not in their headspace.
But Lisa kind of cares if she's talking about it.
Yeah. Lisa does so much stuff all the time. For her, that's just like a fling of a text, and she probably didn't think about the next day, I would think.
I'm taking it as, I agree with you. I'm taking it as not so much that they're trying to like destroy her, more so that they're kind of just making fun of her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because it's like, oh, Whitney's little jewelry line.
Because Heather keeps saying in the episode, she said this twice, of like, you need to get to the bottom of this. They're all about like getting to the bottom. I'm like, I don't think there's much of a bottom to get to.
Right.
I think we've gotten to the bottom. It's just they're kind of making fun that you sell on Alibaba. That's it.
Right. But also,
it's not that deep.
Also, obviously, it's Lisa Barlow. You fucking shit on her on a podcast, and now she hates you and she's out for vengeance.
Yeah. You mess with the mob boss, you're going to get mob bossed back.
Damn, yeah, tell them. Don't say mob boss in front of Angie, though.
I won't. Or a Greek mob boss. God forbid.
God forbid. All in all, 2 good episodes.
Yeah, good episodes. Lots of fighting.
That's why it's my big issue with the Housewives, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, we can't say anything yet, but you guys, we might have a sponsor soon.
Might.
We're working on it.
Might.
That's all we could say.
And we might have a surprise interview for you soon.
And by might, we mean probably.
It's on the calendar.
We haven't had a guest since we had Christina Coca on. We're ready for another one. We're ready to really branch out into the guest. Every time we talk to someone about the podcast, they're always like, we want to come on as a guest. And then we're like, ooh, we need to figure that out again. So, because we want it. So, we're going to have some more guest interviews. So that's something to look forward to. Expansion.
Yeah. Abundance.
Our producer, Rachel, is working on getting our money off of YouTube. We've made a couple of dollars.
Yeah, we're all...
Things are going up for us.
Things are going up. And it's all because of you guys.
And we high-fived, but that was a Gabber high five. Let's high five everyone.
Hell yeah. Thank you. That was so embarrassing.
No, it was kind of really, I was like, damn, that was sick.
To the people?
Yeah, it was insane.
Okay, yeah, I can see it either way. It's just like every opinion I have.
That you could see both ways.
Yeah,
I can,
see
you know
both,
what? It all ties back to reality TV.
I don't have a single thought of my own.
Yeah, shut up. Yes, you do. Brad Pitt needs to be more prominent in today's world.
Tom Cruise is our last movie star.
Our last real movie star.
I will die on that hill.
The only people that any of us will ever remember are Tom Cruise, Kobe Bryant, and Taylor Swift. You have a lot of opinions.
We gotta end it on that.
You truly can't argue with that. And on that note, Gabbers, we will end on that. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Kate.
My name is Carolyn.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.